Welcome back to Essentials.tf. Welcome to our coverage, our continued coverage of eSport United Community Rumble. It's good to be back, Nuze.
It is indeed. This should be a good game. I've been awaiting it. The last of the top 3 teams playing off against each other.
Yeah, it's going to be Lowpander versus Pizza Polished, and a game that we both suspect is going to be the closest one in the tournament.
I was expecting Froyo Lowpander last night to be quite one-sided in Froyo's favour. It was on Reckoner, not a strong map for Froyo. They don't really play it in North America, but we saw the upset. This time round, this is the game that I think most people are expecting to be the closest fought. At least at this stage in the tournament.
It feels like there's a lot more even footing with this one. With the Froyo Tech game, there was a lot of logical reasons why it didn't go Froyo Tech's way. Obviously, they hadn't played the map that much. Everyone that just kind of arrived, and they had a little bit of jet lag, a little bit, you know, not fueled up, tired, all this stuff. But
all the excuses.
Yeah, but surely there's not.
Paddy was saying he doesn't like to make excuses.
Yeah, I mean, as time has gone on, though, like less excuses are coming out of all of these teams, and it's getting a little bit closer. It's getting a bit more important as well. So I'm very, very curious to see. This is going to be like a sneak preview, and keep in mind this is a Swiss game, so it's not super important. It's just kind of a taster.
It's pretty unlikely, regardless of how this game goes, that either of these teams won't be making it through to playoffs. I think it's close to being certain that Froyo, Lowpander, and Pizza Polished will all be in playoffs, but this game could have some meaning on it if other things happen, I think.
Yeah, so that game should be happening very shortly. We're just getting the players onto the server right now, but if we had to take some guesses, some predictions, Nuze, is there anyone like you're expecting to turn up in this game, go huge for their
well, it's on Gullywash, I think, so I think it's kind of map dependent. I know when Lowpander played Froyo Tech, because it was Gullywash, Habib kind of destroyed because he had quite a bit of a DM advantage over Smearia, or he just controlled those mids. I think we might see the same with Smearia coming up big and Hildreth lacking a bit on the mid fights. That being said, Funz and Mr. Epic have been doing a really good job across maps on their mid fights of just staying alive and cleaning up, and I'm not sure if Credu and Alba will be up to the task.
Yeah, I feel like if it's going to be that Gullywash map as well, it's also going to be a bit of a... I'm going to keep my eyes on the roamers on the mid. I know that Alfie has a lot of, I guess, work to do, I suppose, if he wants to kind of turn the tide for his team. And when you're playing up against a team like Lowpander, and you've got Mookie, who's been really playing his heart out at this LAN.
Yeah.
Like, he's had probably the most stream moments out of all the players here. So
I think Mookie's one of the best playmaking roamers nowadays.
Yeah.
And Gully, I've always felt that playing roamer is the most fun and the easiest on Gully.
Yeah.
I don't know if other people agree with
me.
On that, but
no.
It just feels like a roamer
Definitely.
map.
It's a map where it kind of caters with almost these hiding spots where straight out the gate, because you've got that lower area, that's like the roamer's domain where he gets to play and plan and how he's going to approach the mid, and it gives a lot of options and flexibility to the roamer.
It feels like there's a lot of parts of the map that are dedicated to the combo or the flank, and it's one or the other, and you can abuse that a lot more on roamer, I feel like, on this map. And there's a lot of like little places like going through lower or you know, lots of places in between the points on the map that roamer's particularly good at exploiting. And I think Mookie, like you're saying, he's been having a lot of big moments turning up. I think we can expect good things from him this game. So really, to me, it's eyes are on Smearia and Adiski, the combo players of Pizza Polished, to keep the flank of Lowpander in check.
Yeah, well, the benefit of this is they know each other like the back of their hand at this point. They've all played against each other in a variety of different places, lands, online tournaments and stuff like that. So they kind of know all the tricks that they'll probably slap out from each other. It's really just a tale of who kind of outperforms or kind of, just outperforms one another on this map.
Yeah, also, I'm not sure how much we've seen from Credu. Speaking to some of the Pizza Polished guys, I know all of their games have been win difference 5-0 games so far. The one that they lost to Froyo, and every other game they've won 5-0. So they've not had, you know, the kind of closely fought games in which some of the star players tend to shine in.
Yeah.
But I think this might be the first chance for Credu in particular to kind of show what he can do on Scout. If he's one of those players, or if he's feeling it today, or in this match, I think he will go big, but it really depends on how good of a start Pizza Polish get off.
Yeah. The first thing I'm very curious about is Pizza Polish had played Froyo on this map, and they were having a rough time on these mids, and I want to see what sort of changes and improvements they've made since then, because this is the best time of the tournament to do these sort of improvements, is during these Swiss matches. So we're going straight into it. This is our Gully Wash coverage of Pizza Polish versus Lowpander. What are you seeing on mid Nuze?
Mookie dying instantly to Adiski, trying to play in drop down. Adiski making an early jump, even though he's quite weak. Alfie there to support him. There's a flank coming in from Pappy, but he doesn't get much damage for it, and this is looking really good for Pizza Polish. Credu with a pick onto Funds as he traded for Smear, but with 4 players dead for Lowpander, just Hildreth and Martin staying alive, they're going to be able to get onto second, Pizza Polished, and they should be in a position to take control of Lobby. Doesn't look like they really have any openings to get a force play, so we're probably going to be seeing some sort of stalemate, some sort of playmaking happening. I know Adiski's been doing a lot of that so far, so he might be looking to bomb, and we can expect something from Lowpander. Mon's checking the off classes while he's on Spy. I'd expect him to go Sniper pretty shortly, but we've also seen Pappy using banners in this situation, and it does look like at the moment he's on the battalion's backup, and Mookie's running on the conch as well.
Yeah, you actually have a sniper in play from Alba, and he's trying to find the sight line onto some of these players, but yeah, just referring back to that last mid though, I feel like what came down to it was Lowpander's soldier play was just a little bit disjointed. It felt like with Mookie going down so early, Pappy couldn't really get like a good coordination going with his bomb at all, and his bomb alone was quite weak as well, so they had to kind of give up the map, I mean the mid from that point on, but we're over on to last point now, and Alba's having a peek.
Yeah, headshot coming up from Alba onto Mon. He's 15 HP, but he gets an arrow up, and Alba's headshot's not being capitalized on fully, but good of Mon to play with the buff there. Alba now rotating towards lobby to play for a different sight line, going from the lower main entrance. He might get a shot onto Mookie here if he plays the sight line correctly. Diski dying to a sticky trap, I think. Smear going down weak as well, so Pizza Polish not taking the position too carefully here, taking a bit of unnecessary damage, and they need to back out of lobby.
Well, on the bright side, they've got this sniper who can kind of reign quite freely on this second point and really kind of just give passive pressure to these pushes that they could make over on Lowpander, and I don't think they'll make it. The sniper's just too much of a scary prospect to actually push out from, at least just for one pick, so they'll just see if they can poke forward in this lobby, see if they can get another little pick off the back of that now. Give, take the free ground that's given to them, but seeing as they couldn't find anything, they're just going to back off and play it safe.
I think next time we see Lowpander getting a pick, now that Mookie's on the conch, Pappy's almost on the backup, they might be looking to do something here. Diski's also switched the battalion's backup, but he's not started building it yet. Not really been in a position to do any damage. They're just playing around Alba's sniping. But yeah, look out for that first pick. If it goes Lowpander's way, then I think we're going to see some banner play from Mookie.
Oh, Alba almost had that sight line onto Martin there, but couldn't quite just line it up just in time. So he's going to try and keep rotating, which is a sign of a good sniper, always rotating between all the doorways, not keeping himself as unpredictable as possible against Lowpander. So there we go, another little rotation, and we'll see if at some point, eventually, the probability laws kind of go into this Nuze, and he's got to find that headshot the more time that's given to him.
And we do hear the conch
being
conch
coming up from
Mookie. He is pushing up deeply into river. They know that they can do what they want with this, and it's not too much of a risk as they have the Uber and battalion's backup with Pappy. Mookie does get body shot in lobby after trying to make something happen. Nothing for his efforts, but they do have that Uber and they do have the backup to defend here, so it shouldn't be much of an opening. That being said, Alba gets a headshot onto the sniper. Alfie going in deep behind point, bringing 2 players behind. There's a lot of pressure now. Smear trying to put stickies on the cap, and Adiski's looking for an entrance in top right. Fun's pressuring the balcony a lot, and he's taking so much damage. Alfie, somehow not dead, finally gets cleaned up by Pappy as Lowpander do use that backup, but no Ubers have been used in this exchange, and I think if Pizza Polished had not been running a sniper for the duration of that, they might have been able to make something happen, but they just didn't have the firepower to be aggressive.
Yeah, they're blowing all the resources as well. Pappy using a banner, so that's both of their banners gone for, I'd imagine, some time for Lowpander, so no real plan Bs or plan Cs for them.
Well, now we have the banner advantage for, oh, just as I was about to say, Adiski's getting close to his backup, but he does get headshot by Mon.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll maybe push out Mookie, see if he can make something happen over on the flank area, sneak in, which he probably will do from this big door area. I don't think anybody's, I don't know, they have got a few eyes on that big door, so Mookie thinks the best of it, backs off now. It's a very methodical play so far, Nuze.
Yeah, it's every little step has been considered very carefully. Alfie moving up lower, seeing if he can spot anything from main. This time, Alba again getting the headshot, turning up on sniper so far this LAN. It's not often that you see Mon getting out sniped in duels.
Yeah, Alba's really impressed me so far. It's quite the fact that he's going back to back as well. Oh, he's going for the hero shot. Oh, but a nice spamming pipe from Hildreth will get clipped there. And with 3 players going down, Nuze, they could make the push out from this last point finally. It seems they played the waiting game, and the waiting game has done well for them.
Alfie almost getting cut off from River there as well, but some nice jumps lets him get back to mid. So they do have some resets. They do get a wave of all 3 spawners as well. So they should be able to contest this midpoint. The Uber coming in from Lowpander, but a lot of pressure onto Raptor. It's just Alfie and this Uber getting disconnected from Raptor for a second, but they're back together with 20% advantage at the end of that Uber, but they're not able to use that invulnerability very well. So now we're back to even Ubers. Both teams trying to look for some sort of opening. Conch and backup are close to being in play from Mookie and Pappy. Adiski on the Conch, but he's nowhere near, so we might see some Lowpander soldiers initiating some aggression soon if they can get that charge before the Ubers are in play. Yeah,
and Pappy strikes me as quite an aggressive player as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to make these bomb-ins alongside his Roma buddy. So, but until any of that starts, we have to wait for these banners just to slowly recharge. And I'd imagine Pizza Polished have kind of got wind of this. They're actually taking abuse of this big door area now. Managed to find the pick onto Mookie, who must have overextended or got caught out in that lower lobby. So they have got 1 player caught behind now. I think that is Alba. So he's going to be a little bit of a headache for the side of Lowpander, but
he's trying to make his way in through the choke, and he does get caught off just before he gets that Conch in play. Alba being cleaned up on the backlines as well. Mookie and Mon dying for it. Nice little sticky trap from Zmira keeps them in this situation. But it was going to be quite a close fight there, I think, because we had Mookie on the backup. Mookie had died, Pappy was on the backup, and Adiski was on the Conch. They were both about to get it, so not only would it have been an even Uber situation, but you would have had an aggressive banner against one of the passive ones. And I think that would have been a weird fight to watch, but they both end up dying just before they can get them in play. Or at least Adiski did, sorry. Pappy still has the backup, but there's not really much being done.
Yeah. Both of these teams are just looking very sheepish right now, and it's understandable. It's 0-0. It's been an 8-minute round, and right now they're kind of turning towards some gimmicks. And speaking of gimmicks,
both spies.
Both spies. And luckily they're on the opposite side of the maps from each other, so they're not going to bump into each other and do that awkward spy dance. So Adiski
trying to get an interesting position on the rock there. Didn't quite surf it up properly. Mookie's just on the back on the enemy team's choke. He's just doing the CCTV spy at the moment. Adiski's playing in a lot closer quarters, playing around that ammo kit, but neither of them are able to find an opening. It looks like the Lowpander soldier is wise to it. Credit going down to the backstab from Mookie in the backlines. I think he was going for a health kit or something. Mookie now in a position to get Alpha as well, and he gets Alfie a bit weak as well. Really nice play from Mookie. Adiski dying on the spy, nothing for his efforts, so we can tell who's the better spy of the two of them. The Uber coming in from Lowpander, getting a pop onto Smear and Raptor, who have
the big flank around from Alfie though. He's caught, he's behind them. He's actually firing at the Ubered players, and he doesn't actually manage to lay any damage because he just went in a little bit too early there, Nuze, and that's a real shame because it looked like they could have made a massive turnaround from that point on, but it will go Lowpander's way.
Adiski's behind though. He's in a position on point. They haven't been spotted. He gets one rocket onto Martin.
Oh, misses the one onto Martin towards the tail end there. But yeah, Mookie kind of almost playing a little bit lucky there. Once you got that first backstab, usually the enemy team is quite aware of your shenanigans and they'll be very conscious of another spy backstab. But I guess a scout in this game is the last person that expects to be backstabbed, so it was just kind of laid to the wayside.
Yeah, and now Lowpander, after being pushed to their last from winning that or losing that first mid fight, they've managed to bring it back to Pizza Polished last in quite methodical fashion. They're now also sitting on a 35% Uber advantage. They're looking to bring this in from top right. Hildreth and Mon leading this charge in. They deal with the sentry, put some pressure onto the heavy, but the classes have been switched. There's just some stickies on the point with Smear playing lower. Funds baits the detonation. There's a banner coming in from Mookie. They should be able to roll this with some good focus fire. Alfie and Nadisky both dying. Raptor getting the Uber off just in time though, keeping his players alive, and they're getting a couple trade frags for it. Funds below the point. Hildreth trying to commit with him. They're playing the cap diamond. Raptor's just able to contest. I don't know if he can do it for long enough in the first round. Going to Lowpander with a nice push.
Yeah, the fact that Adisky and Alfie went down so early there, it kind of gave their counter Uber just a little less oomph, and Funds kind of spent that time not only kiting the Uber, but circling all the way back round from water again, and kind of gave the surprise to Smear, and I believe it was... who's the other soldier there?
Adisky.
No, Adisky, actually, yeah.
I feel like if they had been alive and not died early, they might have been able to block that for a bit longer. But anyway, Alba putting a lot of pressure on Hildreth at the start of this mid-fight. Smear having a little bit more space, but they're running the heavy and sniper in big door, so Pizza Polished are kind of limited in what they can do. Martin dying early to Adisky. There's going to be some counter-aggression now from Lowpander. 3 frags going very quickly. It's just Credu and Raptor left alive. Credu's going to get caught. Raptor's going to need some miracle movement to get out of this situation. He's getting chipped down by the scout. Surfs towards the pack in lobby. He's being chased from lower main, and he's going to die to the soldier. Unlucky for Raptor. Good effort at trying to get out there.
Yeah, but sadly, this is a cruel game, Nuze. The more effort you put in as a medic to run away, the more punished you are with that long respawner time. Look at him, a good 6 seconds ahead of the rest of his team, and that's just going to delay even more of his Uber charge. But it's a good thing they're not building the Uber so much or prioritizing it on the side of Lowpander right now.
Yeah, they are getting that, because Martin died really early on the mid. It would have been an interesting time to maybe go crits for one of the medics, but I think he was taking the forward spawn or something, so they didn't build too well or use that advantage very great, despite Raptor's late death. I think they're quite happy to stick with it though, because Mon and Mookie both survived, and they're on sniper and heavy respectively. Mon again with an entry pick on the sniper onto Credu. Radisky trying to pressure from balcony, but getting put down to solo damage and gets cleaned up by Hildreth as well.
We've got the Mookie surprise news. He's coming in from water, and there we go. He's revved up and he's ready to come onto the point, and they're trying their best to slap him away, and it's a 2 HP warrior heavy weapons guy. He's going to eat a sandwich on the point to make sure he can start capping it for his team, and I guess that's a distraction enough for his team to kind of come in and clean up there. The sandwich strat news.
The sandwich strat indeed. Mookie, very hungry today.
Well, 2-0. It's looking very controlled from Lowpander, and they've been tested in many parts of the map as well. They kind of did a heartbreaker round with the first map and won out the mid on this second round. It's very interesting to see, but there's still plenty of time in this game. 17 minutes left. Let's see how Pizza Polish adapt.
So this time a lot of early pressure on Smear. He's have to back up really passively into his left-hand side with his medic. Mookie dying from both scouts though. It's a good position for Lowpander to be in. So much follow-up coming in. Just Smear left alive on 60 HP. Manages to get Martin with a clutch pipe. I don't know if it was a roller, just a spam around the corner, but he might even make out alive as well, because Hildreth and Funds can't commit 2 players to chase him while capping. And that was a really important pick at the tail end of that lost mid-fight from Smear onto the medic.
That mid was the Pappy show, their Nuze. He kind of wrapped around from their elbow and gave them a good little slap with a few rockets, and that was the mid practically done for them. Not only did he, I think, kill off the medic very early, but he also got a bonus few kills on like a soldier and a scout as well.
Yeah, and it's not just Pappy. Mookie as well is now looking to be making some plays as he is on Spy. He's just on his own team's side of the map at the moment. He's just been able to cloak up, trying to get into position.
Oh my
Very
God!
Carefully moving around. He did bump into the soldier briefly, but I don't think he was spotted despite the little shimmer effect when he happens. He's decloaking now. He's been spotted by Martin, but he gets a Disky anyway. Raptor not communicating that clearly enough, it seems. I think he did pull out his Ubersoft to try and kill Mookie, but he manages to get the stab on a Disky anyway. And
the Oscar goes to Mookie. He gets healed by his own medic, well, the enemy medic, I should say, and he just played it off cool. He was like, well, I won't go for the face stab on that player. I'll just instead back off to the soldier who's kind of looking away, and He's got really good decision making when it comes to that aspect of Spy. He knows when to call it quits and not go for the impossible medic pick, but instead like kind of just double down for some of these easier picks.
And we do have now another pick class being run by Alba, who's on Sniper. He's just moving up Big Door to try and get a sight line onto the right side of the enemy choke. Pappy's coming quite close, though, to deny that. He's getting spam rockets off. He knows the Sniper's peeking that sight line. Mookie now...
Oh, no. I think Mookie might have been spotted there. He's actually been brought down to 5 HP. Maybe they might have not noticed there that he's... he kind of was glimmering from just all the damage. So he's going to keep rocking it. I think they're a little bit paranoid over on the Pizza Polished, but surely they can't expect the Spy twice in a row, Nuze.
They are looking around in quite a paranoid fashion, a lot of the Pizza players. Alfie playing alone on this Big Door. I don't know where Mookie is just now. I can't seem to find him. He's in position on second. A lot of the Pizza players playing in the shutter towards Big Door. They get a pick onto Pappy, and now they're rotating towards Choke, trying to make some space for Alba, as it is still an even Uber situation. They don't want to commit too much. Adiski's managed to get in from drop down. He gets the bomb in, lands in front of Martin's face, gets so much damage on him. He goes down to 30 HP, funds on 1. They do have to pop the Uber really early, and Raptor should be able to get a much better Uber here. If he can combine Mookie's in behind, they get the force. They need to clean up the Spy and the Scout this week behind the point. 2 frags now. The Uber just about fading, and they're getting into Choke cleanly. Their stickies, though, just the debt. A bit too late as the Uber does block the damage there, and they should be able to cap mid here.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't think about contesting mid just a little bit, because they do have the respawners on their side, Nuze. If they manage to be a little bit greedy with this midpoint and hold on to it to delay some more spawners on the side, they could maybe make a go at that, but they'd decide against it.
Pappy's playing really close to the choke. I think he's trying to catch out anyone that slightly overextends. There's a bit of stickies from Hildreth as well. Mookie going down again to Alba, creating this opening. Pappy's going to back away from that position that he was committing to now that they've lost a pick. Alfie's in behind, actually, in lower. I think Funds is wise to him, but he just can't spot him quite yet. He does see him now, and I don't know if Pizza will be able to support Alfie in this position. It's not a good place for a Scout to take a 1v1 with a Soldier, or vice versa, rather.
Yeah, he is making a go of it, though, and actually out-finesses the Englishman, so they will be down a player for now, and this might be the opportunity Lowpander were looking for to kind of start throwing in a player of their own to see if we can make something happen, but I don't see any... oh, I see Mookie actually going drop down, and nobody's watching it, Nuze. Oh, he's going in for the bomb, Nuze, and he actually gets the force off. Very nice from Mookie, so with that force, it's most certainly that Lowpander can make a claim onto this mid if they just manage to keep themselves alive now and not drop the Uber. There we go. They actually pop it off just to make real sure that they don't lose that Uber. Starting to maybe pick up the pieces here and there. I'm surprised they're not making a push of this, but I guess they lost a few players during that little exchange.
Yeah, they lost some players on the flank, and it looks like Pizza Polished are trying to abuse this. They've rotated 4 of their players into the flank the whole time they've been playing with Alba, but this time he gets a headshot on Hildreth in the middle of the messy fight. Smear with 2 quick kills on both Funds and Martin. It's just Mookie and Pappy left alive. Mon coming in from the respawn queue, but they're all going to back up to last, as 60% Uber is quite an advantage for Smear and Raptor to be pressing on. They don't have it yet, but they are going in just on the player advantage. They get the pick onto Mookie, get the pick onto Pappy, making space for Alba, just playing the point. First round on the board for Pizza Polished.
And with that, they've got their morale back into the game here. This is the point where they feel like they've got a better foothold on this game and feel like they've got maybe a little bit of strategy or realize what Lowpander are doing wrong and how to abuse it. So I'm very interested to see if they can keep this momentum up, or even more interested to see how Lowpander adapt themselves.
They used that player advantage really well, pushing before they had Uber. Kind of a risk because the spawners were coming in soon, but they did the aggressive play really well. Adiski now jumping onto the point to get some position established. Credu being really weak. Mookie's trying to commit onto that damage, but the frags go the way of Pizza Polished, with Mookie and Mon dying. Pappy getting a consolation frag onto Alba. Adiski's putting so much pressure on them at the choke. Funds and Hildreth are both going down pretty weak. Funds is committed into drop down. Adiski's going to get killed, but Alfie's going to flank in time. He should be able to kill Hildreth if he can get 1 rocket off. And it's just Funds on the mid. He's behind them. He went down, drop down. He's been spotted now by Smear and Credu, and he's going to get killed as well. So 2 late deaths on the Pocket Scout and Demo for Lowpander. It should be a relatively clean entry into last if they can cap quickly and use this 80% Uber advantage.
And very nice coordination coming out from Pizza Polished there. You saw that Alfie made a little bit of a nice space-making bomb to kind of provide some room for his team to come in, and they followed up very nicely, and easiest kill of their life against Pappy there, who kind of fed himself, and it's just as easy as getting onto the point, Nuze. 2-2.
That late death for Hildreth, not being able to have stickies on the point by the time they're contesting, and they were able to push that really quickly. I really like what they've been doing with their last pushes so far.
2-2 Nuze, 10 minutes left on the clock. Would you be scared if you're on the side of Lowpander at this point?
I kind of would be, to be honest. I think they made it work when they pushed from their last to the enemy's last by using methodical play, playing around banners. But when they're getting caught off in the fast-moving game that Smear's calling is leading to, I think they're kind of struggling. Adiski bombing in, Alfie's behind as well. They get the pick onto Funds, but everyone on Lowpander is pretty scattered right now. Raptor's being pressured a lot, so he's not being able to commit too hard. Pappy's the only one left alive. He's going to be playing in choke, potentially going for a drop-down play, but Credu and Alba are looking for him. They know that he's around somewhere because he was still left alive, and he does rocket jump back away to the safety of his own riverside.
Yeah, and you don't really want to stick around for that long. Usually, the longer the time passes, the more aware of that there's going to be a hiding soldier somewhere. So Pappy plays it safe. He was just kind of checking if they maybe overextended or kind of rushed things a bit too much, but they're playing it very careful on Pizza Polished right now. So they will claim their 3 seconds, and they've got this Uber advantage as well to go alongside it. So they can maybe make this into a third round here if everything goes well, but it looks like they're cooking up a special last defense just for them. You've got a sentry gun set up to absorb that Uber for Lowpander.
This time they don't have the player advantage that they've been using so well before, so they're going to need to make this Uber count. Smear jumping in deep. They're going to have to deal with the sentry early. There's a sniper on right side. Hildreth playing behind the points. Soldiers counter-aggressing now for Lowpander. They need to be focused firing Pizza Polish. They get the first frag onto Martin, so if they slow this down and play with heals, they should be able to win it. They're playing good damage onto the soldiers of Lowpander. Follow up on those frags. They're playing it really well so far, Pizza Polish. It's just Funds that they need to focus now, and they finally need to deal with Hildreth on the point. Funds goes down. It's just Hildreth and his stickies. Smear's putting so much pressure on him, and they should be able to cap just now. Martin spawning on the Pyro to try and contest the point, but really nice push. I was surprised that they managed to make that Uber advantage work, but Pizza Polished showing us how it's done.
God, Nuze, what was in that pizza that we ate earlier? It's just enabled, powered all these Pizza Polish players, especially the scouts. Credu.
The pineapple positivity. Credu on 4 DOMs right now. Ladies and gentlemen, he is turning on just as I thought he might have done, and it is a big game to do it, so let's see if he can keep it up going into this mid.
Well, Nuze took a lot of damage at the start of that mid there. He's going to be a bit sheepish about pressing forward, but it's okay. He's got a crossbow, and it seems like all things are well and good. Adiski gets a nice little opening pick, but Alfie doesn't quite find the space that he was hoping to make with that bomb there, and you can see the difference it makes when they don't have that bomb to rely on to get those mid pushovers over on Pizza Polished.
And on the chase.
Yeah, he wants the kill onto Raptor, but he will give him the slip for now, and he does have a slight advantage just from all the bullying his team took from Lowpander there. So, but Lowpander realizes they're going to back off, just build up the Uber, maybe cap mid as well. That's kind of an important aspect.
Pizza Polish are going to try and hold second. Alfie's bombed quite deep just to play some position. He's going to get caught off as well as Adiski, who I think died to some sticky traps. Now, they had 1 player capping mid Lowpander, and there was only 5 players on second. So, in theory, Pizza Polish should have been able to get onto second and block that cap if they had played it a bit more carefully, but they rushed it a little bit. So now they're sitting with both soldiers dead, and Lowpander in a position to maybe get some playmaking going on. Hildreth spamming stickies from the balcony. Pappy and Mookie both peeking. Mookie in water right now. Alba heavy on the point to contest him, but they're not finding the openings. Mookie getting sandwiched by Alfie and Adiski in water as they did spot him. Funds peeking main. There's not much that Lowpander can do just now, and I think Pizza Polish are going to be quite content to just stick with the hold.
Now, do you think Pizza Polish have it in them, Nuze, to hold on to this point for a good 6 minutes or so? I mean, it is gully wash. We've had some long stalemates in the past, but...
well, we have seen Adiski just switch to the battalion's backup, so I think that's what they're kind of banking on. If he can maybe take the Uber trade when Lowpander commit, or just do some good spam damage to get that passive banner into play, then...
Oh, well, there goes that banner.
Every time. Ooh, Funds and Mookie both going towards water, looking to play the point. They're baiting Smear onto the low ground.
Oh,
3 kill, just as Hildreth peaks the shutter as well, I think. So that was very lucky timing for Smear, but he gets a 3K with 1 sticky that it's Mon and Martin in big door. Pappy's going to get caught off in choke as well. He's really weak. Maybe someone else can follow up, but he does manage to get out. Nice jumps there.
Yeah, there were some nice kind of jukes coming out from Pappy there. Smear wanted to take the Pappy kill, but he had to lock down the door. But every time he was locking down the door, Pappy was avoiding the stickies and I don't know, just the little things. Anyway, they will hold on to mid. Need to be worried that actually, you know, both of these teams have still got their Uber advantage. So during that little like play, I guess, by Lowpander, they didn't lose any advantage or any sort of danger to Martin. So he's going to hold on to his Uber from before, but can't help but think that they're feeling the squeeze of the timer at this point, and they're trying to make something happen on Big Door, and they have managed to get Funds in, or he was in. He's been cleaned up now by Alfie.
So much damage being put out by Smear and Credu and Big Door, and they get 2 frags for it after Funds died early. So the flank is quite weak right now for Lowpander. Alfie sees his opening and he's taking some position there. Alba there to support him. Now with 2 entrances being pressured, Lowpander are going to need to start backing up as they can't commit to holding the choke. Smear's got the opening now after Alfie made some space. He goes really weak after a big jump, might get killed. Alba dies. Alfie's so weak that health is not good for Pizza Polish right now as this Uber trade comes off. And they're going to have to back out of this mid push, sorry, as Adiski's still on the conch, getting a bit closer now, but Lowpander wrapping around Big Door.
Yeah, it felt like they were milking that maybe a little bit too hard, where they really just didn't want to use the Uber. And when they ended up, they were using the Uber. Oh God, look at this cut-off coming in, Nuze. They've just cut off their only way to actually back out and escape from all this mess, and they've cut them off from the Big Door. They've got in behind them now, and they're completely pulling them apart. That's Pizza Polish absolutely, utterly destroyed in second, and maybe even lost the last point.
Yeah, there's a level 1 sentry put up by Alba. He's going to have to switch back to Scout. They're not going to be able to contest him on the point as there were stickies. They block, but they're taking so much damage for it. Funds with a follow-up onto Smear. No stickies contesting the point. They're in a terrible position now. 69% Uber for Martin. They got the heal advantage. They're going to have Uber soon, but I think they don't need it. They're just going to be pushing in. Adiski dies. Alfie with some good damage put out onto the point. Funds putting down so weak, but not enough. Pappy with the cleanup. Tying it up, 3-3.
3-3. I can feel the goosebumps from the players from here, and 3 minutes left on the clock as well. It's quite the nail biter news, and it's just a little strange. I feel like Pizza Polished through that last little part of the game there. It seemed like they had this game under wraps, under control, and then it kind of fell apart from that that little wraparound from Lowpander.
Pizza Planet, Pizza Express, Pizza Express. Yes,
conspiracy.
Well, Pappy's actually in behind them at choke. I think he's been spotted, but he'll just putting a lot of damage onto them. And Alfie comes in with 2 nice rockets to clean him up. Adiski on the backlines as well with them at choke. Martin's not in the fight, but everyone on Pizza Polished in the mid fight is being cleaned up. Smear and Adiski behind them, like about 50 health collectively, and Mookie and Funds in a position to just cap this midpoint. There's not too much that it looks like Smear and Adiski can do. Adiski's actually hiding in their own lobby. I think he's going to wait for the forward spawners and try and get Martin as he comes out the door here.
Come on, yes, they're very smart actually from Lowpander there. Usually if you're playing this game on automatic moves, you just start walking straight out of that forward respawn, and good thing they were actually keeping tabs on Smear behind there. And I mean, if Demoman's caught behind like that, the only thing you can do is kind of sticky up the forward respawn.
It has bought them a bit of time though. They still have Adiski far behind. Everyone else is back alive on the server. It's more or less even Ubers. It looks like Lowpander will be able to take the second point like pretty fairly, but Adiski's still behind and he's got that opening. Credu's on Sniper at the moment in River. They're looking to make some sort of pick, some opening for Adiski, but they're probably just going to have to retreat to last and commit to the hold. There's 2 minutes left. Adiski gets cleaned up from behind, and I don't know how Lowpander are going to make this work really well. They've been quite in a far back position because they had to clean up Adiski. He's going to be spawning relatively soon, but they have managed to work up a 25% Uber advantage out of nowhere.
Yeah, so I don't think they'll be aware of that. However, they might show so much respect to the enemy team that they'll just kind of wait it out instead, see if they can get a pick-off play. They will send a Mookie in and he will be punished for his sins. Funds tries to kind of give a little bit more oomph to that bomb in there, but he's just another lamb to the slaughter. So with those 2 players down...
players asking for a pause just now?
Yep.
Lowpander is asking for a pause, so I don't know if maybe some of them had tech issues or something. But I really like the hold that was just being run there by Pizza Polish. They had Alba with the sentry gun on top left and Credu playing Pyro, not to air blast them and deny them from getting into the point, but just to reflect the spam so that with a sentry gun, you have to put out projectile damage and burst damage to kill it. With a pyro, you have to do hit scan. And when you're playing against the pyro and sentry in the same place, it's really hard to put out the damage to kill both of them. And you need to kill one of them to kill the other.
Do you think these new pyro changes have made an impact on the viability of pyro on Gully Wash? And I remember it used to be like the cookie cutter, everyone was running pyro on Gully Wash last. Now, I don't really see it as much.
I feel like a lot of the times people don't run pyro in the way that they used to. A lot of the times on last holds, it's like how it is on Badlands last, where you keep them in a small choke point, and people do that with pyro on the shutter. But because it's a bit of a longer last, the pyro needs time to get into the position, and if they're coming from a different entrance, they need to rotate quickly enough. But we do seem to be unpaused, so I think we'll look to take it back to the game on stream if we can. Yeah, Disky just dying there is the last thing that happened in this game, but now we're still back to even Ubers. I'm not sure what the issue was for Lowpander, but it seems to be resolved. All the 6 of their players are moving around properly within the map. Mookie on Spy actually hiding on the barrels. I don't think he's been spotted by anyone of Pizza Paradise. He's in position, Raptor does spot him, he's going for a face stab onto Gredu. But the Uber exchange comes in now. Mon and Martin trying to make some space for the Spy, but it didn't work out. Adiski pushing up really deep into lobby with the Flames, doing a lot of damage actually, but they're not going to commit to this. Wise decision to not push with Pyro.
Sadly, the negative of running a Pyro is that you can only really dish out that damage onto that one player. It's very easy to kite, so that's all they did, just kited the Pyro, and they've only got a few seconds left. At this point, it's only Pizza Polish's game to lose, and they're still rocking that Pyro, and they're kind of dealing with little fires everywhere. And Mon is caught behind the point. He's got some okay damage onto Credo, but he's probably going to get crossbowed up. Actually, Mon has got onto the point, but the Pyro will actually clean him up, and they're making this push in, Nuze. They are trying to make it go down to the wire, but there's just too many bodies left up from Pizza Polish to actually clean that up. It will be a close 3-3 draw.
Wow. That was a good one to watch.
Yeah, that was... it was just.
Do you think
really
that was
strange.
a tactical pause then in the last minute left, just to plan their
I mean,
their last ditch strategy?
Tactical pause. Tactical pause. I mean, it's a little strange. I feel like Pizza Polish might walk away with this a little bit sad compared to Lowpander. Lowpander felt like they clawed that back from the brink of defeat, while Pizza Polish had it, and it just slipped through their fingers.
I think, yeah, you might be right. I think if I was in the position of Pizza Polish, I'd be pretty content, considering Lowpander had a close game with Froyotech. Pizza Polish got rolled by Froyotech, and now they're playing a lot better than they were yesterday. It seems they gave Lowpander a really good game, and for a lot of that, Pizza Polish were in quite a bit of control. It was only that first time where Lowpander kind of outplayed them in a series of holds, and they went from their last to Pizza Polish last. That Lowpander was like the dominant force, but I think for a lot of that, Pizza Polish were kind of setting the pace of the game and playing how they wanted to play. They were doing kind of risky pushes, but they were making them work, and Lowpander didn't really have an answer for it.
Yeah, I feel like the difference between like that game and the game with Froyotech was, I feel like the Mookie magic wasn't quite the same. It felt like he was such a massive presence against the Froyotech lineup that I didn't really feel it. I mean, he was running Spy and it was doing okay, but it felt more like he was just, just kind of going with the ropes and picking up what he can with the Spy, really, rather than like making these massive plays.
Yeah, we saw quite a lot of off-classing from a few of the players. Adiski running a lot of Spy, a bit of Pyro there at the end, and I quite like seeing pockets off-class. We didn't used to see that for a long time. But then some people started to use Ebasai with his Spy plays. But I think Adiski's been doing pretty well on the off-classing so far.
And I like Pappy's being a lot more hands-on, I think, as a pocket. He's not really kind of sticking too much to the combo. He's very proactive. He'll like go in for these bombs, going for these cleanups and chases and whatnot.
I feel like if, all three of them, Mookie, Pappy, and Adiski, if they'd all been playing a little bit safer with their banners, I think we would have seen a lot more of that coming into play. It did work pretty well for them a couple times before, but in a lot of situations, those soldiers kept dying just before they could use their banners.
It felt more like just rough luck than anything. I don't think anybody was making any particularly, bad mistakes or anything like that. It was just the luck of the draw when these little picks or these little rotations happened. But I think we might be getting logs on the stream. I'm not sure, but
I would hope so.
Yeah.
And you know, I was like, a lot of the games being very one-sided, logs don't tell much. But like I was saying with Credu, if it's a closely fought game, I think we might see games in which the star players can really show what they're worth. You know, because even if you're a really good player, if you're getting rolled by a really, really good team, you might have pretty poor stats. But in closely fought games, I think we get to see who's really doing the damage.
Speaking of logs, we do have them for you now, and as the only thing I'm really noticing, Nuze, is actually just how close everything is. I'm trying to spot like the medics, pretty similar in just the deaths. Maybe the only major discrepancy I can see is maybe that 24 deaths coming in from Mookie, but Mookie was kind of...
Mookie and Adiski with the same
Oh
KD
no,
there.
actually, yeah, they've got the same... God, this is so close.
Yeah.
This is eerily close.
Not much in this. Lower deaths for the Lowpander combo, but...
Quick, who got the most air shots? Adiski.
It
All
looks
right,
like
well.
Adiski. Well, makes up for the 11 to 24. But, I mean, Credu top fragging for Pizza Polished, Pappy top fragging for Lowpander with Mon closely behind. Smear had a pretty good game. It felt like leading a lot of Uber charges there. Got a few more kills than Hildreth, as you can see, but Hildreth isn't really one of the star players of Lowpander, whereas I think Smear really is for Pizza Polished.
The only one I could maybe point the finger at is like Mookie's getting a bit more damage than Alfie in, but I think it's just more to the style of how both of these two roamers play, so I wouldn't really concern about it too much.
I don't think Alfie's really much of a playmaker for this team, but he's a space maker.
Yeah.
As much of
pretty much. A
people
lot of
consider
the things that you see Alfie do isn't recorded by logs.
There was a few situations where they would get a few picks and then Alfie would pressure the flank, make a lot of space, and then Smear and Credu are able to walk in from the joke for free. So I think Alfie was doing a pretty good job for most of that game, and there was a few situations where he created the openings, baited aggression, got picks on funds or
especially in relation to mid fights as well. I know there was some mids where it was like night and day difference based on how well Alfie's space making jump made for the team. But
I like that. Well, if you look at damage taken, Adiski's kind of way ahead of everyone else. But to be honest, I think that's kind of what pockets are supposed to do in a lot of situations.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe he just didn't have a great game. Like, it's pretty uncharacteristic to see a pocket get 24 deaths.
There was times where he was getting behind a lot as well, and you can tell that by like maybe the health packs picked up as well. You know, that sort of pesky, annoying roamer that just hoovering up all your resources in your base, and you're like, oh my god.
But you know what's interesting is the medic stats are really similar.
Yeah, I know.
It's like both 8 deaths.
This is not a game to be deduced by the logs. This is a game to kind of go back to the STV and kind of really pick it apart. Maybe
I'll watch it on my stream.
Yeah, maybe a quick request to Professor Cadis out there as well as Professor Nuze.
We'll get a
combo going.
Double demo review going.
Yeah. Digest this game. But
no, this was a really good one actually. Was there anything unexpected as far as you're concerned?
I think obviously Pizza Polished, just the performance in general is kind of unexpected. You know, most people would just put the logic of like if Froyotech beat Pizza Polished and Froyotech lost to Lowpander, Lowpander must beat Pizza Polished. But it goes to show like how much maybe the map played into things with that previous matchup, or whether or not that these players know each other so much and all these other little tiny things. It goes to show that TF2 is a very complex game and it can't really be broken down by like just simple. I really
liked some of the pushes that Pizza Polished were doing. Like they pushed before they had like a 55% Uber advantage or something, like a sizable Uber advantage, but rather than waiting to get the Uber, they just push while they have picks because there's not a full hold set up on last, and they just roll it. And it's something I really like seeing, and it's something that Lowpander were actually pretty good at for a lot of the past 2 seasons, and not a lot of teams do that these days. But I think dry pushing a lot of the time on advantages like position and player picks, even if it's only 1 or 2, if you do it properly, it works really well. And I think that's what we saw a lot of the time. You know, when Hildreth would have late deaths, Smear and co would punish with a lot of their Uber advantage or with their pushes into last.
It's not just their positions as well. I know there was some health advantage pushes as well, which is kind of welcome to see. We've come from a meta of like a lot of crossbows where everyone is away for 2 seconds and suddenly a full buffed team comes back out of the little hidey-ho that they came in. So maybe not too much chance to kind of abuse that factor anymore, and you can kind of see the little bit of that in this game. But because of the draw now, Nuze, that kind of confirms the playoff spots for Lowpander and Pizza Polish.
It's good to see.
No surprises there, really. So I think we're all kind of expecting it. It's mainly just this 4th place that everyone's kind of scratching the chins at and wondering what's going to be.
Do we know who's in contention for that?
I'd imagine it's going to be Skyper's team, which is Minions in Pyjamas, I believe. And
who we'll be seeing up next, playing against Froyo.
Yeah, so, I mean, who knows if they can get like a really, really mega upset.
Upset, yeah.
Yeah, they could actually get the 3rd place.
Yeah, that would
part
be
of the playoff. But that game will be coming up in just about 2 minutes, actually. Wow, it's only 2 minutes until 5 o'clock, and that's supposedly when it's been scheduled. So it's not going to be long of a break, but I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be eating my words, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, everything is always kind of like this on land, so who knows? In any case, it'd be nice to do a break for a little bit.
Yeah.
I could do with a glass
before
of
we do
water.
that, I've got a job to do.
You've got a job.
I've got a job to do. I've got to shout out to our Twitter team who are working tirelessly at our competition news. The best meme.
The best meme.
The best meme. I love corporate memes.
You know, I'd like to see an entry from a gamer friend of mine, co-analyst at I61, who asked for a shout out equally. I want to see you have a nice entry into the competition. Direct call out here.
Yeah, I mean,
give us your memes.
We're not just demanding them. We're going to give away this nice Rig 500E headset from Plantronics. So, I mean, it's endorsed by ESL, so you know it's good. We're not making you work for it though. So, because the entries have been really good.
You want to be an esports gamer.
Yeah.
This is the headset.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll even sign it as well to make sure you don't sell it on eBay. So, yeah. What other things have we got? What are the housekeeping events? Maybe we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors in general. Esports United, Plantronics. Esports United.
So easy to get
because
that.
Esports United was a more expensive domain, so they didn't want to buy that one out. Esport United.
One less letter to print as well.
Yeah. The shirts are cheaper as well.
Shirts are cheaper.
All right. But we said our pleases, we said our thank yous. So now we're just going to head over to our break. I've been TurboTabs. With me on the mic has been Nuze. This is Essentials.tf. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have Froyo versus Minions in Pyjamas. It's going to be a hype game.